Hey guys, so we're back again with another reading, and this one is all about what is your destiny. So, what is the journey your soul is on during this lifetime? What did you come here to accomplish, and how are you serving out your mission? We're going to get into all of it, and I'm excited because this is going to be a very deep and intense reading. Today, we have a beautiful selection of heart-shaped cakes and donuts for you guys to choose from, and if one is already sticking out to you and calling your name, you can go ahead and skip to that point. I'm going to put the timestamps down in the description and in the comments as well. So if it's your first pick a card reading, you want to go towards the one your energy is feeling called to and drawn to. Don't overthink it. Just go with your first instinct, and that will be the pile with the message for you. I'm going to put the numbers up on the screen in just a moment of each of the piles. And if you guys like how I do my readings, you can also check out my Patreon. I just posted What Are Your Dreams Trying to Tell You. So that's one with some deep iconography and symbols and imagery. And we really get into what your guides, your team on the other side is trying to tell you through your dreams. And you'll also get access to over 25 of my additional readings when you sign up for my Patreon, from love readings to career readings to generalized guidance from spirit, all kinds of topics. There's so much to choose from. So go ahead and check that out. Like I said, link in my description for that Patreon. We also vote on new topics, and new readings go up all the time. So join the party over there. Like I said, Patreon link in my description. And if you guys want a private one-on-one reading with me, you can also get that at my website, briarrosetarot.com. You can get a private tarot session for a specific question or topic you want to focus on, or if you want generalized life guidance, a channeled reading, mediumship reading. You can get anything you want. You can choose what we focus on. So like I said, head to the link in my description for that, briarrosetarot.com, to sign up for a one-on-one reading with me. I'm pretty much booked up for the rest of this month, but I am going to have some spots in mid-September. So check those out. You can book in advance, or you might be able to nab one for the rest of this month. But go ahead and see if you guys want to get a one-on-one reading. So with all of that being said, if you guys need time to rewind, pause, take as much time as you need to decide, but we are going to go ahead and jump into pile one. Hey, pile one, so if you guys picked this little white cake, this is going to be your reading. So for your tarot, you guys got the Nine of Cups, the Devil card, the Empress, the Hermit, Seven of Wands, the Star, and the Lovers. So wow, really powerful energy here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 major arcana cards. There's so much power coming through this pile. I feel like you guys who picked this pile have an incredibly strong destiny. And what I'm getting is that you guys are here to show that you can succeed despite everything, that you guys are here to overcome the odds and to overcome some competition, maybe some jealousy that people have thrown at you, and to show that you are resilient, to prove to people and maybe inspire people in the way of, like, if this person can get through that, then maybe I can do it too. Maybe I can get through anything, because people have seen how people have come against you. People have been competitive with you. And I feel like you just keep rising above it, just keep coming through unscathed. Like, maybe people are trying to bring you down, or just they don't like you. There might be people who react quite strongly to you. You might be kind of divisive, because I am getting a kind of Uranus energy, Hermit energy, where you're kind of doing things on your own. You're not really caring about what other people think about you, what people have to say, their opinions, their thoughts. You're just like, okay, I'm just going to march to the beat of my own drum. And I feel like because of that, you have attracted a lot of hate, or just people not understanding you, people not getting you, people maybe even thinking like you're better than them or something like that, or that you think you're better than them, and being, like I said, very competitive with you. And I feel like a big mission you guys have is to prove to people that, like, if you can go through all of this and come out with all these blessings that we're going to go into on the other side, that maybe they should try to march to the beat of their own drum too. And maybe they should listen to their inner voice instead of going along with the crowd. So it's funny, because I see a destiny for you guys where you go through some hardship, you go through some pain. We did get the Death card. So there's like an ending or transformation happening for you. Maybe at the beginning, you guys are more people pleasers, or you're trying to fit in more. You don't want to go against the crowd. You worry what other people think. And then there's like a switch that goes off where you're like, I don't I don't really care at all. And then I feel like once that happens, it might happen at the point of your Saturn return. You guys suddenly go through a major transformation and you start manifesting the blessings of the Empress and having the star happen where suddenly you're coming into your own. You're bringing in all these beautiful things. We got the Lover. So you might also have a destiny aligned with finding a really amazing partner and everyone's seeing how happy you are. Everyone's seeing like, wow, this person has so many incredible blessings. How did they do this? And I feel like a big part of how you do it is you listen to your own intuition and you listen to what you feel on the inside. You don't care about what this person says or what that person says. You're not like someone that would like read the stock trends to decide what to invest in. You're the kind of person that would like already decide just based on what you want and your inner calling of like, I think I should invest in this. And I feel like that makes you a bit of a target at first. So at first there might be a period where you feel very on the outs and it bothers you a lot, where people are like, is this person crazy? Or they are such a clown. Like, why are they living like this? Oh my God. Like maybe even people thinking like you really failed or that like it's over for you. And then I feel like there's this kind of rebirth energy happening, and we did get Pluto, which is transformational. And so I feel like you just go through a transformation, and there might be multiple of this in your lifetime. You guys might have like multiple things where you just shift your fashion up, change your look, change your vibe a lot. And people I feel are constantly kind of having to sit back and like watch and not know what to expect and be very surprised by what you guys do. There also can be an indication here of a public platform, and I am seeing the star card here, and I do feel like there's an emphasis of a lot of people kind of gathered around seeing what you're up to, seeing what you're doing, and really in a weird way because you bother these people, and I don't think they would call you an inspiration. Like if you ask them, I don't think they would be like, oh my God, this is amazing, I'm so happy for them. I think they'd be really mad about it. But I feel like actually the greater purpose of this in their life is that they see you doing so well, and it makes them inspired to march to their own heart and listen to their heart and not go along with the crowd just because everyone else believes it. Like they see you transforming things and doing things so differently, and it makes them realize like, actually I have more options than I realize. Maybe if that person can do it, maybe I can too. But whenever you're that visionary, that first person to do something, that person that, you know, sits alone in hermit energy and does things their own way, you're going to get people not understanding you and even reacting badly to you because they might take that as a threat to the status quo. They might be like, oh my God, like Pluto energy is very transformational and people don't react well to Pluto, you know? People tend to think Pluto is just this really negative energy when it's not, but people have this reaction to it of like, oh my God, you're attacking me, or you're coming for the crowd, you're trying to attack our tribe or our culture or whatever. And you're like, no, I'm just doing things my own way. And so I feel like there's a lot of pushback you might get from a lot of people that are like really trying hard to stifle your identity. And at a certain point, when you really learn to move past this and not let them bother you at all, that's when you will really get all these amazing blessings. Let me pull the rest of these cards. So I pre-shuffled these and we got Mindful, Groupthink, Horseman, Herald of Change, Fool's Embrace, Transmuting Pain, and Crown Games, Right Use of Power. So yeah, again, I'm seeing kind of like royalty vibes a little bit, public platform vibes. I feel like you guys are supposed to be on an elevated position. You're supposed to have this success, not just for your sake, although yes, for your sake. And of course, our spirit guides want us to have the best life, period. And that doesn't have to be justified by anything else. But I also feel like this serves a cosmic purpose of inspiring others, them seeing you do so well. And it really opens up a window for them where it's kind of like I'm seeing, you know, the first person or like someone working in a factory and they just decide to like put down their wrench and go and start a business. And maybe everyone in the factory is like, oh my God, you're crazy. What are you going to do without this paycheck? But because in a year they're doing really well, and then in 2 years they're really, you know, a lot better, and then 3 years they're doing super well and the business is making so much money, and then everyone starts thinking, you know what, if they could do that, maybe I don't have to be at this job that I don't like, that isn't fulfilling me. So it's kind of like you're that person to shine a light on all the different possibilities. You are supposed to be a disruptor. If you're living a life where you have people coming against you, thinking that you're, I don't know, acting out of pocket, or thinking like that you're reacting negatively to you in some way, that's how you will know that you're really on a great path, because you're serving that purpose that your guides and God has given you. And I do feel like it probably comes with pain when you're younger, because I am getting Saturnian vibes. And Saturn always brings pain. You know, Pluto is also, you know, not necessarily the most happy-go-lucky planet. And so I feel like you have this power and this strength in you that has been built from the pain. So when you're going through that pain, you guys need to keep this in mind, that this is preparing you, and it is there because you guys can take it. You are resilient, you are tough, you are strong. And I feel like you'll take all this energy and channel it into something incredible, something so positive. And maybe there's also an energy here of you having, like I said, an elevated position, having to have people watch as you rise in status in some way. Like I said, it could be a public platform of some kind. We did get a bunch of cards that could relate to you having some kind of public platform. I feel like even if you're not on a certain platform, or you are very private, you don't want to have social media or whatever, that's fine. But then you would have a lot of people in your social group watching you somehow. A lot of people would have you on their mind. And for you guys who did pick this pile, I could definitely see it being indicative of some kind of career in some kind of public spotlight. And I feel like you guys are supposed to have like a beautiful house, a beautiful life. We got the 9 of Cups. You're supposed to be very fulfilled. And then we got the tidy house down here. So maybe living in really beautiful surroundings, having a lot of Venus energy in where you live, and having people see this and be like, wow, I just love, like, I feel like the thing is, you kind of go through this period of pain, but then on the other side, you have this really beautiful lifestyle. Like, it's not just like you get a bunch of awards and success, but then it's kind of a really difficult lifestyle. You know how sometimes someone gets success, but they're still working 24/7, and they're just investing their money over and over, and they don't really, like, it's not like an enviable lifestyle. Like, maybe people see them and they're like, woo, that is a really tough schedule, and they seem kind of burnt out and they seem really exhausted. I feel like that's the opposite of what I'm getting for you guys. I feel like you're supposed to have like this beautiful life that's really inspiring to people, just the way you live, just the way you wake up your 9 to 5, the way you spend your time. There's a lot of joy radiating from you. And this might be a karmic or ancestral thing where you're supposed to break ancestral curses. If you have a family that thinks that like life is about hard work and life is suffering, and like there's always drama and tension and fighting in your family, you might be that chain breaker that's supposed to show them that like, actually, we don't have to argue all the time, and my life is really peaceful, and I can be really happy, and it's okay. And it's not a crisis if someone's just happy-go-lucky in a good mood. That's actually a good thing. So I feel like you've been placed in this role to show people like their options, to take the blinds off people of what they think. Let me get some astro dice. Spirit, can we get some astro dice for pile 1 of what their destiny is? So we got Mercury, we got the 5th house, and we got Leo. Wow, double Leo energy here. So like I said, a very strong emphasis of royalty or some kind of a public platform. Both of those things can be seen with Leo. And the role of the sun is really to shine its light, you know, and we can't have anything really on the planet without like the sun, you know, it's the source of all energy. So when someone has a really prominent sun, and you guys might have prominent Leo, you might also have prominent Gemini or Virgo, which is ruled by Mercury. But focusing on the sun here, if you have a really prominent sun in your chart, then that could mean that you, or a lot of Leo energy, it could mean that one of your roles and one of your purposes is to shine brightly, to have a public platform, that you are supposed to shine and inspire others. That's why people kind of stereotype Leo as being like really egotistical and full of themselves. And certainly low vibrational Leos can definitely manifest that way. But I feel like a high vibrational Leo knows that when we all are shining in our best light, when we're all shining as brightly as we can, not dimming ourselves because like, oh, I don't want to threaten this other person. I don't want to get in the way. I don't want to make them feel bad. So I'm just going to kind of put myself in this little box. When everyone shines brightly, that's when the world has the most amount of light. That's when everyone is able, and there's more than enough, right? Like, it's like when you go out, it's amazing to me how bright like sunlight is. Like, at least where I live, it's so bright. And if even I have blackout curtains, but it doesn't matter. As soon as the sun is up in the morning, like that light is already beating down into my room. That's how powerful like sunlight is, right? So I think sometimes when it comes to blessings, people think like, oh, they can have it, but I can't. Or if I get this, then this person can't. And they don't realize that it's unlimited. And I feel like that's your role, is to show people that they don't have to fit into these certain roles, that they can have it too. And with Mercury, there might be an aspect of you guys being kind of intelligent, seeing a different way to look at things. You might also have a role in terms of speaking to others. You guys might be talented speakers. You might have a destiny that has to do with communication, whether it's writing, whether it's speaking out loud, having a podcast, having a YouTube channel, having a TikTok, or maybe even writing long Instagram captions. But Mercury is generally about communication. So that might be a major thing for you. And Mercury is also that energy of someone taking a situation and looking at it in an unconventional, surprising way, taking something and really like taking it apart. It literally also is like taking things apart mechanically with your hands. So I feel like you guys are good at analyzing situations and being like, okay, this is the right way to approach it. This is the wrong way to approach it. And looking at it with a really genius kind of way that, again, people might not like that at first. They might even get triggered or say like, oh, so you think you know better than us, or kind of think like, even call you like a know-it-all or something like that, which is so low vibrational if they are saying that. Probably just jealousy. And I feel like I'm hearing that line from like Bethany Frankel on Real Housewives, and she said someone called her a know-it-all, and she said, yes, I know it all. So if you would like to know it all, come ask me. And she is a Scorpio, and she's like a Scorpio, quadruple Scorpio, and she does know a lot of stuff. I mean, you do not want to come for a quadruple Scorpio with their knowledge or memories of a certain situation, because Scorpio remembers everything. So she was right. She's usually always right in different situations. So that's the thing, is I feel like you guys, people get annoyed with you because you're very on point. It's almost like they get annoyed with you because you're always correct, because you don't make like, when other people might fall into stupid traps of just following along because this person said that, you're the person to look at it differently. You're the person to be like, I don't know about that. And almost like when you say that, people get annoyed. People feel like it's an attack on them. So yeah, I feel like your speaking voice, your communication skills might be very prominent in your chart. You guys might be Gemini, Virgo, suns or ascendants, or have Mercury in those placements. You also might have Mercury in the first house or Sun in the first house. Again, with this, same goes for Leo placements, maybe a Leo moon, Leo sun, or rising. But there's definitely a combination here that could definitely mean you guys speaking or using your voice somehow on social media or on some kind of public platform of some kind. So let's get some more of these cards. Prosperity, justice, forgiveness, and passion. So I feel like, again, there's this emphasis on so many people coming against you, so many people like doing kind of bad things to you and like hating on you, and jealousy, and people not wishing you the best. And I almost feel like you get stronger and stronger. I'm seeing, this is funny, but I'm seeing Thanos from Marvel, which I haven't seen any of those films, but I know he's the bad guy that has all the Infinity Stones, and like each one he collects makes him stronger, right? And he's like a villain, and he got to be the main top undefeatable villain because of like he'd been through some hard stuff or something. I don't know. I'm just guessing from the promos or whatever I've seen. I don't even think I've seen a promo, but that's the vibe I get. So I feel like it's like the more that gets thrown against you, the more you level up, the more you get powerful, the more you're like, I'm going to take this pain and transmute it into power. And so it's almost like there might be a lot of people that need to ask for your forgiveness, and whether you choose to give it or not is totally up to you. I also feel like you guys are a part of your destiny is to transmute into an energy of not even caring, like not holding a grudge, not being mad about it, but just being like, I'm living life for me and I'm not letting you hold me back anymore. And I'm not caring about your bad opinion of me. I'm also not going to just pretend like none of that happened, but I'm also not going to walk around carrying it because I'm so focused on my life, which is so amazing. We did get prosperity and we got passion. So again, we have this emphasis on money and love. So I feel like you guys are going to get all the blessings. You know, you're going to have this amazing, passionate, beautiful relationship, and you're going to have the money, you're going to have the success, and you're going to have the love. You're going to get it all, because I feel like Spirit wants to kind of let people learn that blessings don't come from just like trying to stick inside a box that someone else gave you. Blessings come from finding your purpose and learning how to serve the collective and aligning yourself with the best outcome for you of what you want. And maybe people think that, you know, in order for them to have blessings, they would have to do X, Y, Z. Like, in order for me to have money, I would have to have this, 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 and this. And you're there to kind of show them that, like, maybe they look at you and they get mad even, like, well, how did they get that money? Or I don't understand how they did this job and they're making money from that, or something like that. Or I don't understand how this person married that person. I don't understand why she gets to be in a relationship with him. She's not pretty enough, or something. And you're supposed to show them that, you know, being in your happiness, being in your bliss, being in your joy will allow them to have those blessings too. So yeah, I feel like a big part of this path you're on is just to have an amazing life yourself and then have people witness it. And it's so inspiring. I feel like people are very inspired by your energy. It might be with your voice, the way we got that Mercury. It might have a lot to do with your voice, your speaking ability, how you say things, you know, your opinion, your thoughts. It might be that you have a very different and unique perspective. And I am seeing that this just rolled over to the 6th house, which is ruled by Virgo. So that's another Virgo emphasis. And I think the role of Virgo is really the healer. You know, Virgo is there to kind of look at a situation and see how they can fix it, to kind of look into a situation and see what's wrong and almost take a critical view of it. That's why Virgo is debilitated in Venus, because you're supposed to be a little bit critical. And maybe that's why people get mad at you. Maybe people are like, oh my God, you always are critical of this, or oh, this isn't good enough for you, or you're always saying something negative about like this family, or about, oh, like this thing isn't good enough at this workplace. You always have a complaint, but it's your job to be like, yeah, it's not good enough for me. I deserve better. You deserve better too, but whether you want to go on that path or not is up to you. But I know I deserve better and I'm taking better. And I feel like you guys never settle for less. And that's what leads you to this amazing prosperity and passion card. So let me get some of these cards. Spirit, can you tell us what is pile one's destiny? So we got Treasure Island, message in a bottle, between worlds. Wow. So these cards can talk also, these two especially, about messages from Spirit and about getting downloads. And I feel like you guys might be very intuitive, and this is where maybe you, like I said, march to the beat of your own drum and do things differently, is maybe because you pay attention to the messages you get from Spirit, not like your logical mind telling you, oh, I should do this and this would make sense. Well, if I drop out of college, then this will blah, blah. And I'm not saying anyone should drop out of college, but I am saying that when you follow your inner destiny and that's authentic for you, not like, well, it would be really cool if I could suddenly become a rock star and I can't sing at all and I can't write music and I can't do this, but I'm just going to drop out of college anyway. I mean, if you can totally become a rock star if you don't have those things, but it's like usually when you feel that call, it should come from inside you. It should feel like Spirit is pulling you towards that, no matter what it is. It shouldn't just be like, because sometimes, you know, I think people might want to go after like certain prestige things, but the major thing is you'll get prestige when you're following your path. It doesn't matter what other people have to say about it now, but you'll get that acclaim once you're on your path, whatever it is. So even if people might not think it's as cool in this moment, they don't have to. It's not there. And that's, I think, your destiny is like you're going outside of that. You're willing to take those risks. You're willing to take that step that people might not understand because you're getting it as a download from spirit. So you guys might be very intuitive in that way. I'm definitely getting some Scorpio vibes from a lot of you guys. And Scorpio is, of course, a very intuitive water sign. Then we have Treasure Island. So again, this emphasis on wealth and chaos and conflict. So I feel like we did talk about that as well. So I don't want to, beat a dead horse. That's funny because this has a horse on it. But yeah, I feel like you might have come from like a lot of conflict and had a lot of things directed at you that was really unpleasant to deal with. And now your path is going to be so amazing, really transmuting that and transforming that. And I really do feel like for a lot of you guys, this will happen after your Saturn return. So the early part of your life might be a little harder and you might feel like, oh my God, everything's not working out for me. Everyone's coming against me. It's all so negative. And then there's a little bit of a breakthrough. So I want to end the reading with some final cards from this deck. Power. I love how that just flew right out off the top. Yeah, you guys are supposed to get some power. So prepare yourselves. Embracing flexibility, illumination, and blessings. And I love that illumination card because that reminds me of what I was talking about how like when the sun is rising in the morning and it comes through my blinds, even with the blackout shades, it's always still so bright in my room. And so I feel like that's your energy. You just come in and illuminate with your beautiful bright light energy, and people might not like that if they're used to the darkness, like I know sometimes if I'm trying to sleep in, I'm kind of like, oh my God, like, can you not be just in my eyes right at 6 a.m.? But that's your role, is to shine the light on things and to be this enormous blessing for people. And because of that, you're going to get blessings. You're supposed to come in and look at situations and give your opinion and maybe be a little critical sometimes, and also to take a look at things and be very inventive and genius. I feel like a lot of you guys in this pile, you are quite genius. You're quite intelligent. You have a very unique way of viewing things. You might spend a lot of time alone reading, or I don't know, watching documentaries or something like that, accumulating knowledge. I just feel like you guys don't really fit in, but it's not in a bad way. It's in a good way. Spirit is saying, because you're that rebel, because you're willing to take an unusual perspective, that's why you're going to be blessed by all of this. So embrace this period, even though it might be difficult if you're in the middle of going through it. I feel like on the other side, there's so many blessings that wait. And part of your destiny is also to accumulate and amass power and to have a, like I said, maybe a public platform, or maybe just to have a very powerful position in life and a lovely life. To have people be like, wow, her life must be so easy, or his life looks so amazing. And maybe they have this narrative when they meet you, once you're in the middle of this journey or you're at the end when you have all these blessings accumulated. They might think like, oh, well, they probably had such an easy life. And then you get to be like, well, actually, I came from this and I used to have this kind of life. And these were all the hardships I went through. So you're there to be as an example of all the blessings Spirit can give you, all the joy and the happiness that awaits all of us when we're marching in path with our destiny, with our highest good. And when we accept and allow Spirit and align ourselves with the blessings, with the goodness and the joy that is all of our birthrights, and we all deserve it. We don't need a justification or a reason. We do deserve to have all the blessings, to be happy, joyful, abundant, and successful in all those things. And I feel like your role is to be an example of how to go about that, and how Spirit blesses those who listen to that inner little voice from Spirit. So yeah, what an amazing energy. Powerful energy from pile one. Thank you guys so much for letting me tune in. I really hope it resonated. If it did, please give this reading a thumbs up and make sure to comment down below. I love hearing from you guys, so let me know. And make sure to subscribe, turn notifications on so you find out as soon as I post. And if you want to see more of my readings, you can check out my Patreon. The link is in my bio or description for that. And I have a ton of readings over there. I just posted What Are Your Dreams Trying to Tell You? So check that out. If you guys want to see all my readings over there, over 25, and new ones go up all the time. And if you want a private reading with me, you can also get that at the link in my description, briarrosetarot.com, to get a private one-on-one session. So with all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next reading. Take care. Bye. Hey, pile two. So if you guys got this pink and white donut, this is going to be your reading. So for your tarot, you guys got the Star, Eight of Cups, Ace of Pentacles, Eight of Wands, Three of Cups, the Hierophant, and the Queen of Cups. So for a lot of you guys, there is going to be a destiny moment where you might leave behind a situation that looks pretty good to people from the outside, and there's just something in you that feels a calling towards something greater, something big, something special. And I feel like one of your destinies is to manifest this really beautiful life that might involve like a second stream of income, or I don't know what's that word for, just a stream of income that comes in anyway, whether you work or not, like residual income or something like that. So you can have this beautiful, great lifestyle and kind of prove to people that you don't have to work so hard and that life isn't about just hardship and suffering, that life can be easy and beautiful and lovely and really nice. And so there is going to be coming a time when like things are going well for you, when maybe from the outside your life looks really good and people are seeing it as this person has a lot, or this person has it all, or this person has so much, but there's something in you that feels this calling towards something greater, that you might take what seems like a risky decision to leave it behind, or you might like be in a great relationship and everyone's like, you're so lucky, but you decide that it's not fully satisfying your heart. And there's something where you guys are going to like exit stage left and choose to leave this. And I do feel like it might be also leaving a life where there's like a lot of competition, where maybe there's a lot of like fighting or tension or arguing or stress. Maybe you're at a job, but like you make good money, but it causes you stress. And there's going to be coming some point where you guys are like, you know what? This is just not satisfying my soul. Something bigger is calling my name. Something bigger is, you know, getting my attention, and spirit keeps putting it in my heart and in my head, and I have to pursue this. And I feel like that leads you on this path to a really beautiful life, where you guys are just enjoying your lifestyle, where you guys might be hanging out a lot with friends, maybe going out to eat or drink really nice things, maybe going to nice restaurants, or living a really beautiful lifestyle where there's a little bit more easiness. So we have the Queen of Cups, and you know, she is someone who prioritizes kind of her emotional health, her emotional well-being. She is not someone who's like desperately trying to be in the rat race or desperately trying to win at all costs, and yet she's the queen. She has that kind of easiness of a queen. And I feel like there is some destiny moment for you guys where you are going to kind of shock people with like how easy you make it. Like maybe they have this idea that in order to have money, that they would have to be working their tail off, and that they would have to be scrambling around and like constantly under stress and constantly pushing themselves to the limit. And you show them that like, actually, look at me, I've been able to manifest money and this beautiful lifestyle, and I'm not breaking my back. I'm not working super hard. I'm being relaxed. I'm staying in my Queen of Cups energy. I'm chilled. I'm relaxed. And I think because of that, you guys weirdly kind of become this authority figure in a way. You might step out of the bounds of society, but then become your own kind of figure that people look up to or even want advice from. You could even be a public figure, because we did get the Star. And so it could be that you are being called to step into some kind of public eye in that way, or share your journey with others, maybe on social media or maybe some other platform. But I feel like a lot of people might look to you as like how did they do this? How did they get that done? Maybe there comes a time when you leave something in the past when people think like, oh, they really messed up. Like they had it so good and they left it, and there's going to be no way they could make something good happen again, because no one can like leave that kind of a job behind. They'll never find a good enough job like that. But you guys surprise them because you're always kind of finding something new. You're always finding some kind of little gift from spirit. And so I feel like a lot of people learn from you how to kind of enjoy life, learn from you how to appreciate the good things. You guys in this pile might have quite the appreciation for your beauty itself. You might be someone who dresses really nicely or really loves to indulge in like delicious, well-made food that looks really beautiful and is presented really beautiful and tastes beautiful or is very nourishing. Or you might like collect perfumes. There might be some aspect of beauty in your life where you kind of have like a beautiful lifestyle. If you're not really into beauty and those kind of Taurian, Venusian things, you guys might be someone who just has a life that a lot of people look up to in terms of like it's serving you exactly. It's what you love. You love your life, even if it's just like you're into a really certain like book and you kind of decorate your house with like things that remind you of that book. Like maybe you're really into Harry Potter and your house lives in a place that kind of looks like Hogwarts, or you really love Lord of the Rings and you have that kind of Hobbit hole vibe to your house. Or maybe you're into Star Wars and like there's this kind of outer space quality to where you live, or something like that. Something where even if it's not like that intense, but where you really enjoy the things you do. You're not trying to, like I said, live a life that's in a rat race. You guys are trying to find a life that makes you happy and fulfills your soul and gives you that sense of goodness and peace. And I feel like that's a really smart attitude to have. And your guides are going to kind of push you in that direction of like being a beacon for others. So you might decide suddenly to post like your afternoon ritual of baking bread that you have, or something that you just do out of love. And it's like you decide to share it to Instagram, and people can just feel that resonance in your heart of the love you get from this activity, and they start wanting to view more of it. They can feel the energy of the peace and the happiness and the contentment you have in your energy field, and then they want to access that themselves, and maybe that inspires them to start baking bread. Or maybe not, they're not going to bake bread, but maybe they suddenly decide they love to cook and they find they're really good at making sushi in particular, you know. But I feel like there's something about what you do and how you do it that inspires people to find their own gifts. And it's almost like outside the norm, or something that people wouldn't think would be able to make money. People might assume that this is not a profitable venture, that this is just like a stupid hobby. You might even have people say like, you make money from that, or like, you need to find a real job or something like that. And I feel like you just kind of stick to your guns and you're just like, this is what I want to do. I don't want to be in that competitive vibe. And when people see the success and the happiness you radiate, it makes them realize that like maybe they're kind of onto something with this, and inspires them to like look at their life and see how much joy they have in their life. I'm going to spin the astro dice next for pile 2. Can you tell us, Spirit, what is pile 2's destiny? So we got Capricorn, we got the moon, and that one's hidden behind the donut, but it is the second house. Awesome. I love that, because that was the house I was thinking of with Taurus. And the second house really is that energy of beauty, and it's also abundance. But it's funny that it's kind of ruled by Taurus, which is kind of not a lazy sign, but a sign that's very chilled and can be kind of stubborn and just does the things it likes to do. That's what I think of when I think of Taurus, is like they're not going to do anything they don't want to do, you know? And when they do want to do something, they're going to do it 100%. Taurus is, and the second house is all about kind of what you love and the things that bring you happiness, and like good food, good vibes, good music. Like I always get the image for the second house and Taurus of like a fireplace with like a fire in it and wood, you know, burning, and then a little fur-skinned rug in front of it and like a box of chocolates and some wine, music playing in the background and candles lit, like to me, or maybe like a bubble bath overflowing with candles and, like I said, chocolates and like desserts. Like to me, those are such Taurian second house things of like luxury and abundance and what feels good to you. And I think sometimes in today's modern day world, we over intellectualize everything, or we feel like everything has to, like, you can't just feel good. You have to have a reason to feel good. You have to earn feeling good. That's kind of this Capricorn energy of like, you have to be doing this to get that. And this person doesn't deserve that. But the reality is we all deserve to have a beautiful, abundant lifestyle. And so it's like anything that gets you there, I mean, within reason, as long as it's not like really hurting someone else, is a beautiful thing. And so I feel like people are learning from you how to like tap into that, how to tap into that side of themselves that maybe they don't get to be in touch with when they're like at work and they're having to hustle and they've convinced themselves that they need to like just work so hard all the time. Otherwise, they won't have any money. And maybe if they reassessed, or maybe there would be some way to manifest with that energy of ease and with that energy of expectancy, like easy money and things flowing and all the good things and all the blessings. And I feel like you kind of open that window by being very in touch with that second house arena of, like I said, good food, like good drinks, good friends. It can be like sensual pleasures as well. But all those kind of physical, rooted in reality things, what we can taste, touch, smell, all those kinds of things. Then we have the moon. So you guys might actually have a destiny to have a really beautiful house, because I keep seeing images of a beautiful house. And Cancer, of course, the moon rules the home. So you might also have a destiny to have a beautiful family and to make them feel really comfortable growing up in that space where it's like you guys might have the really beautiful house on the block that all the kids love coming to. And like mom always has like fresh baked lemon squares ready to go, or fresh baked cookies, or that kind of a thing where like it just feels very homey and beautiful. Or this might just be your own space, but I feel like if that's an option for you and you want kids, that might be part of it, is like just creating a beautiful vibe for them to grow up in and letting them get into touch with what they love and being a great parent in that way. And with Capricorn coming up, which rules the 10th house of career and public identity, I feel like a big thing is that you're teaching people they can get off the hamster wheel, and they're kind of learning from your role model of like, okay, wait, this person made it happen for themselves. They're not like coming in at 6 a.m. and leaving the office at 10 p.m. And maybe if they are able to manifest the lifestyle they live, and they're not having to do this job they hate, they're doing a job they love, or they're finding a way to make money that they love, then maybe I can do that too. A lot of projectors from human design might fall into this group, because projectors are actually not supposed to work all the time. They're not supposed to have the same kind of lifestyle as like a generator or a manifesting generator. They're supposed to share their gifts and then preserve their energy in the meantime. And so sometimes people see projectors kind of chilling and they'll say like, oh my gosh, this person's lazy, but it actually means the projector is very much in touch with themselves and understands that they do need to conserve their energy in order to share it out in the best way. So yeah, I feel like a lot of people, and the role of the projector is in general to be a guide and to be kind of an oracle and get downloads for the collective and to read people's energy and kind of give them tips, but it has to be an invitation that they get. So again, I feel like you guys could have a role in general in society of kind of having a gentle energy that steps back a little, but then serves as a guide, because we did get the Hierophant as well. So there is a role of spiritual leader that's available for a lot of you guys in this pile that might want to step into that in some way. Maybe you guys do get downloads from spirit. Maybe you do have, psychic visions that you get in some way. And if you do, I definitely feel like that could be a very prominent role for you guys to play. So let me get some more of the cards. So we got the Crossing, Initiation, Feast of Plenty, Choices and Their Consequences, the Wall, Obstacles, Watchers, Transpersonal, and Caterpillar, Opportunity. So Wow. Definitely some wealth and abundance is a part of your life destiny. We got feast of plenty. So I feel like you guys are supposed to have some kind of success and show people, again, it's not just supposed to be that you're showing them that they can't work, but like life is going to be really hard. And maybe if you coupon a lot and cut your budget and like live in a tiny house or something. I mean, if someone wants to live in that, obviously they totally can, and God bless. But I feel like for you guys, you're also supposed to show that you can manifest abundance and you can manifest a beautiful, like maybe even luxurious lifestyle and still be in that chilled out, blissful energy, especially when you align yourself with expecting goodness and leaning into goodness and knowing that like all those things come to you easily, and every day you get better and things get easier, and aligning your energy with the right thing is that kind of shortcut to get there. So even though you guys may face obstacles earlier on in life, I feel like once you guys figure this out, maybe grow through some kind of initiation and level up a bit, it's like things become a lot easier for you. And with Watchers Transpersonal, again, there's that emphasis that some of you guys are supposed to have some kind of public platform of some kind, be it Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, whatever. But I do feel like there's an energy of having a public platform if you guys want it. And I just got a message that with the crossing initiation, you can see there's like a little portal here. And I feel like in a way, some of you guys are supposed to serve the role of a spiritual leader who actually crosses people over. Not so much like, I'm not talking about death, but talking about in like this life. Like maybe you're supposed to be a spiritual guide and help people serve into their destiny. Kind of like back in the day in certain tribes, there would be a designated person who would guide people through like a spiritual journey. And sometimes they would have to go out into the wilderness for a while, or sometimes they would have to like drink a certain like hallucinatory potion, or whatever. There were all different kinds of rituals all over the world, but there was someone there who would serve as kind of that guide, who would have been through the journey themselves, probably be very spiritually ascended and have a lot of spiritual powers and knowledge, who would serve as their guide, like a tour guide. You know, if you know all the history of like a certain city, you can, if you live in like Charleston and it's a really like historical place, you could go and become a tour guide because you've been on all the streets a million times and you know what all the statues mean and you know all the different little facts. And that's kind of like you guys, spiritually speaking, you're very spiritually ascended. So I feel like you serve a role to kind of point people in the right direction and maybe even help them find their career or help them find their life purpose. I feel like a lot of you guys in this pile do have a lot of spiritual knowledge in that way. And then I feel like once you're able to step into some kind of directive mission where you're giving people advice and you are serving the collective, I feel like opportunities just kind of come to you. And I feel like you might know if you're not in alignment with that when you do face a lot of obstacles, when you're constantly up against a wall and you're constantly kind of feeling like, why isn't this working out? You should ask yourself, am I serving the collective in some way? Am I sharing my spiritual gifts? And you don't just have to be doing spiritual work to share your spiritual gifts. Like I've mentioned a million times, but I think like there's so many different ways to serve the collective and raise the collective vibrations. I love personally watching, like, funnily enough, because you guys got all this second house Taurus energy, but I love watching cooking videos to cheer myself up sometimes, or, you know, I'll watch like random, you know, animal videos sometimes, and I feel those raise the collective vibration of the energy of the earth and serves an incredibly spiritual, powerful mission. So I feel like for you guys, what it is really when you can tell someone's videos are imbued with love, and that you can feel like when they're cuddling their pet, like I love watching those little otters, you know, that there's such a connection between their pets and them. So whatever it is for you guys, whether it's sharing like any kind of gift or hobby that you feel called to, that will be your knowledge. Or I know there's a lot of people that share, like, I love to, like, reading books, like they love to read. So they'll talk about, their favorite books that they read, and people watch those a lot. So there's so many different ways to do this, but I feel like you'll know you're aligned with it when it feels like you're doing something important, when it feels like you're sharing something that really matters and that you care about this. And so even if you're like sharing accounting tips, if you love accounting and you love like tax law and you know a way to help someone save like a lot of money on their taxes, say, and that person is able to have extra money in their pocket at the end of the year and maybe take their kids on vacation, isn't that amazing? So like I said, you don't have to think it's just one way to do this, but I feel like there's something that you guys should be sharing with the collective that people are going to benefit from, that's going to pay you guys off really well financially. So we also got confidence, prosperity, that's coming through a lot, reconciliation, new beginnings, and willpower. And I feel like you're kind of stepping away from the willpower into just the flow. Like in this pile, you guys are in an energy of easiness and relaxation and what feels good to you, and not pushing yourself to the limit. And again, that's the inspiration you serve to others. Yeah, a lot of you guys in this pile, I think, are really spiritual. You guys probably do like little new moon rituals and stuff like that, or you read tarot yourselves, maybe some of you. But I feel like there's a lot of connection you have to your guides, and part of your purpose is just to show people that life doesn't have to suck. It doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be difficult. Life can be amazing. And sometimes it's just about looking out your window and seeing what's beautiful in the natural world. That is also the energy of, the earth signs. And we got two of them. We got Taurus and Capricorn. And so the earth signs realize that, part of life, we're not just supposed to be floating around on the astral plane. Part of life is to be rooted in the earth and to like taste, touch, smell, all those things, and to, get a little dirty, go outside and get a little mud on us, or lay down in the grass and look up at the stars or look up at the clouds and enjoy the beautiful earth that we were blessed with. So I feel like you guys are getting people more in touch kind of with their sensual side. And by sensual side, I mean all five senses, letting people, like, just putting beauty out into the world in some way. And I don't even think I mentioned that Taurus is ruled by Venus, which is the planet of beauty. So for you guys, I feel like it's all about somehow letting people see that, like, the world doesn't have to be this cold, gray place where you just stay in your cubicle all day. It can be so vibrant and full of colors and full of life and full of like incredible newness. And maybe you could also be even encouraging people to travel or to explore, to go new places, to move new places. You could be showcasing that on your social media or something like that. But I feel like some of you guys have really excellent taste as well. And one of your jobs is to like just turn people on to different things, to make them, introduce them to new tastes. Like maybe you teach them about Peruvian food and they'd never heard of Peruvian food. Or maybe you teach them about a new book that they'd never heard of, but it ends up being their favorite and means so much to them. So there's so many different ways you can do this. But for you guys, I truly feel like you're this little portal kind of spiritually initiating people into this club of realizing that, like, you don't have to be this like little worker bee all the time, just like chugging along. That like there's a shortcut to all the blessings, which is aligning yourself with the spirit of easiness and abundance and with good things flowing to you and expecting the best. And through you guys doing that, I feel like you really help bring others up, uplift everyone, uplift the collective vibration just by you leaning towards what brings you happiness and joy, because I'm also hearing you guys have an infectious smile. So I feel like when you're smiling or when you're feeling good, just everyone kind of flocks around you and feels drawn to you, and you have a magnetism to you that will help bring you this abundance as well. So anyway, I think that's what I have for you, pile 2. I really hope it resonated. Let me know if it did in the comments. I love hearing from you guys, and make sure to hit the like button, hit the thumbs up, and make sure you're subscribed and have notifications on so you can find out as soon as I post. And if you guys like my readings and want to see more of them, you can also check out my Patreon. I just posted a reading about what your dreams are trying to tell you. So that's up on my Patreon now, and you guys can go over and check it out and get access to all of my 25 plus readings over there. There's so many to watch and choose from. So go ahead and join the party over at Patreon. And if you guys want a private one-on-one reading with me, you can also get that on my website, briarrosetarot.com, where you can get a private tarot session with me about whatever topic you would like. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will be back very soon for another reading. I'm sending you guys lots of love and light, and I will see you guys then. Bye. Hey, pile 3, so if you guys picked this apple cake, this is going to be your reading. So for your tarot, you guys got the 5 of Pentacles, 9 of Wands, 2 of Pentacles, the Hanged Man, 2 of Cups, 6 of Cups, and the Sun. So I can see it's really interesting that we start off with some negative energy here, and then we end up at the Sun, one of the most positive cards in tarot, and it's kind of divided by the Hanged Man. So there's a perfect journey happening here from maybe a time in your life where it feels like you don't have enough money, you're always fighting for something, there might be a lot of competition around you, you might even be having trouble kind of balancing your checkbook or balancing your life, you might be feeling kind of pulled in two directions or having trouble managing things, and then a moment where you start looking at things very differently, and then we see all this positivity come in. 2 of Cups, 6 of Cups, the Sun. So it might even be like a romantic partner or a soulmate or some kind of partner or friendship that just means a lot to you. It might be more connection in your life where you're feeling more connected to people in general, maybe even family members. But I do feel like there's something that happens and you're supposed to go through this journey. This is a part of your destiny. Never forget that the hero's journey, it involves the hardship and the struggle. That's a part of it, right? Like, I always think it's funny because I love to read Goodreads, and I mentioned this before, book reviews. For some reason, it's always interesting and amusing to me because I love when there's like a sad book like Anna Karenina or something, and people will be complaining about it or being like, I don't understand why they couldn't end up together. Or, I don't understand why they would have to have an affair. Like affairs are wrong. And it's like, no one would want to read a book if it was just they met, everything was awesome, everything worked out, they went on a date, then they got engaged, then they got married, had a kid. Like, no one wants to read a book like that, right? We only want to watch movies and books and consume stuff about stuff that has, like, for some reason, a difficult beginning. It has to have some stakes in it. It can't just be like easy the whole time. And I feel like for you guys, maybe you're going through this period where it seems like you're suffering a little bit, and you are going to go through a stage where you go through the hardship and then suddenly you get a different perspective. And I do feel like it does happen with your perspective shift. Maybe you're viewing things in just more of a positive realm or something. You also might be learning to speak up more and be more judicious about your opinions of people. Maybe at the beginning you would give people the benefit of the doubt and really like let anyone in and just kind of assume the best about them. And now I feel like towards the end you're like, you know what, I'm really stepping into my power. I am going to unleash my deepest part of myself, my intuition. I'm going to trust my judgment. If I feel called not to hang out with that person, even if they're nice, even if they're cool, I'm not going to hang out with them. If I feel called not to go down that road, I'm not going to go down that road. If I feel called to call in sick from work, even if it doesn't make sense to me, I'm going to do it. So you guys start trusting your intuition on this journey. And I feel like it's a really amazing journey for a lot of people to watch and see happen. Your destiny is about you guys transmuting this pain, transmuting maybe not having enough money, maybe not feeling like you have the best place in your career. Maybe it's like, I don't know what my destiny is, and this is a matter of finding it out. And Spirit is kind of keeping you, having you go through these obstacles in order to take you out on the other side, in order to make you learn certain things and grow from certain things. And that's how I feel like spirit refines us. It's like, in order to get a sword sharpened, you have to like put it in the flames and you have to hammer it out. And that's kind of like us sometimes. Like sometimes I know I've had my biggest growth from difficulties, from things that I didn't like, from situations that pushed me and made me like uncomfortable in that moment, because I needed growth in that arena. I needed to learn something. I needed to learn some inner strength or some inner core of something. And when we take things too easy in life, it's like, it's just not interesting enough. There's kind of nothing going on, right? I think we can think of a lot of people who maybe, to the outside world, it looks like they grew up with everything. They grew up with a really easy life, but they seem to be bored and discontented. And, that's because I feel like there's something about having everything handed to you at once that is just not interesting. We need a little spark. We need a little spice. And speaking of spice, I mean, that's how you make like food taste interesting and good, right? Like you need a little bitterness, or you need a little dash of acid with the squeeze of lemon. Anyone who like cooks a lot, that like you can't just have everything be sweet. Otherwise, that's completely boring. That's why people love coffee or chocolate. Those are actually extremely bitter ingredients. And it's only when you add the sugar then it becomes really magical. Like I ran out of vanilla the other day and I was like, whatever, I'm just going to make this little cake thing that I wanted to make. So I made it anyway. And it came out pretty boring, to be honest. Like I didn't even finish eating it at all. I was just like, I'll put this in my fridge and in my freezer and I'll eat it later, but I know I'm not going to finish it because there was no depth of flavor, And in order to make ingredients taste good, you need to have them be interesting. You need to have a combination of stuff. You need to add some spice so there's some heat, or you need to add some vinegar so your mouth puckers a little bit. I mean, how many people love like, Sour Patch Kids or something? So that balance, I feel like, of the difficulty is going to make this part where you have the blessing so much better. And it is going to mean that once you do come into this energy, which could very well mean you meeting a soulmate, this could be part of your destiny, is a romantic relationship. And I feel like you're going to appreciate it so much more because you have been through the bad times. So when the sun comes out, it's amazing. It's kind of like how many people are so excited when it's the first day of spring and it's the first really warm day after a harsh winter. And how many people are like, if you live in like a cold place, like if you go to the park on the first day of spring, the park is covered in people out having picnics, out exercising, just so happy to be outside. When you live in like LA or a place without seasons, Florida or wherever else, and it's just warm year round, you go to the park on the first day in spring and it's the same. No one really cares. No one's really, feeling anything extra special. Everyone's just like going about their business. So we kind of, because you guys have been going through this hardship, once you come out and experience these blessings, I feel like it's going to be so much more amazing. So I want to pull out some other cards, and I actually didn't look at pretty much any of these, which is rare. Usually I see them, but they all came out face down. So I felt like Spirit wanted me to be surprised too. So we're going to see what these say. So we got Winter's Dream, Gestation Period, Horned Cactus, Resourcefulness, Lost in Space, Needing Direction, Gathering Around, The Power of Community, and Moon Maiden, New Beginnings. So definitely this community aspect that I was picking up on, it might be that you're learning to really have the power of family. Six of Cups can also talk about having kids. So it could be that you guys have a destiny tied in with having children of your own, or maybe you were really close to your family and that's a big part of your destiny, is continuing those relationships and growing closer to them over time and having a big family around you. It might be that they are the people that really help get you through the hard times. I'm hearing some of you guys might even adopt, or there might be adoption in your family in some way, but I feel like you guys learn, because you have had to go through life somewhat alone at times. You really learn the strength of having others around you. And this is a major part of your destiny, is being tied into these people, learning with them, growing with them, taking from them, being uplifted from them, and you uplifting them as well. So there's this beautiful back and forth in that relationship. And I didn't even notice, but we got gestation period, which is kind of like pregnancy. So yeah, there's definitely a theme here of if you guys do want to get pregnant and have a really beautiful relationship, that's definitely coming up for you guys in pile 3, that you guys might really have that beautiful married life, husband or wife, and then lots of kids and raising them and being a part of this family structure. Could even be like you have a bunch of dogs and cats, or you're really close with your partner, but you don't have kids. Of course, you get freedom of choice. So whatever you want, you can have, But if that's what you want, then I definitely feel like you guys might have that as a major part of your destiny. But I also feel like part of this journey that you're on is maybe an initial struggle where you're not sure what you're supposed to do. You're not sure where you're supposed to go, what steps you're supposed to take next, and finding that out, figuring that out, I feel like is going to give you the guidance you need to give to people in the future. And if you don't have if you don't want kids or don't really have a huge family or anything, maybe it could be that you're teaching and guiding others. I could see you guys in this pile being teachers as well. I feel like you guys are highly intelligent, but there might be a period you go through where you're not sure what you're supposed to do and you're weighing your options and you're kind of confused and you're very like on edge. How do I figure this out? And I feel like when you do have that magical hanged man moment where things suddenly become clear to you, you're able to pass that on to others, to teach them like, okay, so this is how I found my path and this is what I did. And that period of struggle you go through becomes kind of a beacon of light to others. I'm seeing a lighthouse in my mind, and that's the job of the lighthouse, is to beam out that light so that ships can see like, oh, there's rocks here, avoid those and come in through this way instead, or whatever. And I feel like you guys teach people about the pitfalls of like, I was really confused, and because I didn't know what I wanted to do when I was younger, and maybe I struggled in my 20s, or maybe I wasn't making as much money as I wanted, and then this is the path I took to get out of it. This is the path I took to find myself. This is the path I took to reach this happiness that I have now, this sun, 6 of cups, 2 of cups energy, that teaches people that, okay, that's how I can do that. This is kind of the pathway out. I'm literally seeing someone like holding a lantern, guiding people down a path. And so maybe that is your destiny, is to like give that feedback and that guidance to others. I definitely feel like there must be a lot of moms in this pile, because I am getting a lot of you guys, you look out to others, you look out for others. And I just saw randomly, because this doesn't usually happen, but there was a card that just was flipped upside down and I guess landed on the floor from my fairy deck, and it says protection, and it's like a group of people surrounding this one fairy who I think is protecting them. And I feel like maybe that's a role you serve as well, because you guys have been through it, or the hardship or the tough lessons. It's like you take that with you in the future and you learn. What I love with that horned cactus is like cactuses are so resourceful that even when there's not a lot of rain, what any other plant would dry up and wither away and wouldn't be able to survive, a cactus is able to pull like tiny amounts of moisture from the air and survive in even the hottest places, in the middle of the desert with no water around for miles, and store it inside of it and then protect itself with the little needles that it has. So I feel like there's so much strength in you guys, and there's so much power that takes you through the hard times, that once you finally kind of get into your groove, you're able to have so much abundance and so much happiness and wealth, and you're able to also give that protection to others. I do feel like you guys are very protective of the people around you. Like I'm seeing Mama Bear, Papa Bear, like you guys really look after people. You might also be really good with your words, and it's like you kind of know what to say or how to defend someone else. You might be that person who would like speak up if everyone was, thinking a situation was messed up but no one wanted to say anything. You would be that one who would be like, I'll be unpopular, I don't care, I'm gonna speak my opinion and I'm gonna say how I feel. So yeah, I think that you serve this major purpose in kind of looking after the collective and speaking up for what's right, because I think you guys have a strong moral compass in this pile, and a lot of people look to you as somewhat of a moral authority. And I feel like you have people in this pile, you have people who really depend on you, like maybe family members, maybe friends, but it's like you're this rock And it's funny because we got the Five of Pentacles, but that is showing a rock on the actual card. And so, yeah, I'm seeing that image in my mind of just a rock that people can lean on, and people know you're not going to give way. You're not going to suddenly crumble. You're just that tough and you're that strong and you're resilient from the stuff you guys have been through. You guys are just like this powerhouse that has so much power and strength. And I feel like you don't even realize how much the people around you really admire and are super grateful to you. Although some of them might not even take in all the things you're doing for them. But I do feel like your work for others, how sweet and giving you are to others, and your strength, your power, I feel like you're getting incredible karma from that and kind of pennies from heaven, because you have helped a lot of people is what I'm hearing. You do have that compassionate heart. Even though you're tough, you haven't let these difficulties harden you and harden your heart. You're still a very sweet, compassionate person. Like you're that person that would help a stray dog in the street who needed food, or who would help someone who was disadvantaged. You have a very like sweet, soft center, and then you have this hard exterior, and I feel like you use that hard exterior to kind of look out for others, to make them feel supported and to help them and to make the world a better place. So yeah, I feel like you're doing so much, and the people around you are really blessed to kind of have you in their space. So let's also get some astro dice for pile 3. Spirit, can you give us some astro dice about pile 3's destiny? So we got Pluto, Sagittarius, and the 11th house. So that's Aquarius and Uranus. So we have Jupiter, we have Pluto, aka Scorpio, aka the 8th house, and then we have the 11th house, Aquarius and Uranus. So there's an energy where you guys might seem kind of tough, like I said, and almost standoffish to people. Aquarian energy can be kind of standoffish. It can seem kind of overly intellectual at times. Sometimes people might think you're a little different, or you're a little almost reserved, or kind of like, oh, this person isn't fully in the moment emotional. People might even find you unemotional because there's some kind of unemotional energy here. Like, oh, they just don't really care. You know, they're just kind of emotionally removed, really tough. They have this hard exterior. But I do feel like for the people you love, you guys would do anything. You would look after people, you would help them, you would give the shirt off your back. And with that Sagittarius energy combined with Aquarius, I do feel like one of your destinies is to also give people a new perspective. To maybe they're a little closed-minded, maybe they think that, you know, there's only one way to do things, and you kind of show them that new way, that new perspective, that new idea that would really open their eyes. Sagittarius energy can also be about travel and about kind of exploring the wider world, and also philosophy, being intellectual in that way, being intelligent in this spiritual, very deep, like I said, philosophical way. And so I feel like you give people a unique perspective. Maybe they think that like there's one way to do things, or they think that like everything has to be this very traditional idea, and you kind of open this doorway in their mind, or you have your mental perspective, which is really intelligent, and you kind of just kick that door open just a little, that allows them to see like, oh, maybe this thing that's different isn't so bad. Maybe you might even explore or expose people to different cultures. Like you might be that person that's like, hey, I'll bring over takeout, and then you bring over some Ethiopian food, and the person has never had Ethiopian food before. Or you might play them music from a country and they've never heard it, from a different country, and they've never heard that music before. Or you might show them a movie that's also from another country, and they're kind of like a little surprised by this. But I feel like there's this really strong energy from you that's supposed to kind of open people's eyes up, let them explore something new, and kind of push them in the direction, because I feel like it's also tied in with your morality. Like it's important to you that people aren't closed-minded. You don't want to be surrounded by closed-minded people. A lot of you guys want to educate people. You want people to be aware of all their options, empowered, have a different perspective on things. So that might be one of your life missions as well, is to like literally educate, because I am getting the teacher vibe from this pile. So maybe even like even if you're not in a classroom, maybe you post on Instagram like infographics that can teach people about like health or I don't know, any subject whatsoever, but you guys, I feel like, have a purpose to kind of teach people because you do have that highly intelligent mind, and the way you process things is really incredible. The way you guys mentally go over things. I feel like your mind is very like quick moving, very fast, very intelligent. Some of you guys might even have a hard time getting out your words at times, but I feel like what's going on inside your head is really incredible and amazing. And people, you should know that people can see how intelligent you are, even if you're like, oh, I don't know if I said that right, or I kind of stumbled over my words in that situation. You should just know that people get what you're saying, people understand you, and they can see how smart you are. And with Pluto, that's a very transformational energy. So again, I feel like you're supposed to go through a lot of this Plutonian change energy yourself, and also to bring that to others, to let people know that like just because something's different, just because it's maybe a little weird to you, doesn't mean it's bad, doesn't mean it's evil, doesn't mean it's like out to get you. It just means it's a little different, and that's okay. Difference makes the world a beautiful place, right? Like, you know, it's nice to go to the restaurant and have a bunch of options to choose from of different dishes, or it's nice to go to the grocery store and see all different kinds of options in the store. So, you know, when we have options to choose from, that's a beautiful thing. It's not a bad thing. And I feel like you feel very strongly about that. You feel very strongly about people opening up, and you're just not a closed-minded person in general. I feel like you guys are very open to the world, and you see things on a very like I said, highly smart, highly intellectual level. So let's get some more cards for pile 3. So we got grieving, strength, boundaries, trust, and clarity. So again, with this really strong energy that you guys are exuding, strength, boundaries, I feel like you've been through this grieving. And I feel like it's because you guys have been through hardship and difficulty, maybe some really hard times in your life, that you are able to like relate to people who are also going through a hard time. Because, you know, maybe for someone who's going through a lot, they wouldn't necessarily want to hear from someone who's really never had any kind of serious hardship happen to them. They're not going to really want to hear from someone whose life has been always perfect, right? So I feel like you can really relate and kind of take any pain and transmute it into something really beautiful. And also, I feel like you're teaching people to trust their inner core and to listen to themselves and to listen to their own inner voice, and not the voice of the crowd, not the voice of what other people might tell them or what they might have had ingrained in them because of culture or anything else, but just their own inner monologue, their own inner voice from spirit. That's something you guys allow people to do. It's almost like you're very open-minded. So if someone was to come to you and say like, you know, I'm really feeling called to give up my accounting job and become an artist, you wouldn't be like, oh my God, that's crazy, or you're going to be so weird. Or if someone's like, I'm engaged to this guy and our families are perfect together and we're just the perfect fit, but I'm not happy, you would be that person who would be like, it doesn't matter what people are going to say, you should leave. You need to do what's happy for you, what, you know, makes you happy, what brings you joy. So you have this inner calling to kind of, you have this inner strength where you don't mind sticking out a little, and you don't mind being a little bit different, and you push people in that same direction. You push them to trust themselves, to push past what others might say, and to really look inside themselves. And I feel like a lot of this comes from the early difficulty, like because you have felt ostracized in the past, or because you have felt like people don't understand you, you're kind of like, screw it, I'm just going to be myself, and I don't really care what these people think. And I feel like in that way you kind of serve as a role model. Like there's a lot of people that might look up to you that you don't even realize that they think about what you're doing, and they see how you carry yourself and how you live your life, and they just think it's really cool, and they kind of wish they could live that way. And maybe it makes them inspired to like, you know what? I don't need to keep at this horrible job that I hate with this boss that's always talking down to me. I can do things the way I want to do them. I can live my life my way. I can step into my power. So a lot of people I feel like are really invigorated and inspired by you. Let's get some cards from this deck. Spirit, can you give us clarity for pile 3? What is their destiny? So we got here and now, round and rounds, and community. So this really strong community vibe for you guys coming through so strongly. And I love that they show these little elephants in like a little family, like a school. Is that what they're called? I don't know what the word is for like a group of elephants, but they're, you know, holding each other's tails with their noses, and they look like a family to me. So I feel like this family thing or finding community somehow is going to be a major component for you. It might even be like a group you belong to, a movement you're a part of that really inspires you and is a part of your destiny and your life purpose. And I do feel like also part of your guys's destiny is to like stop the status quo or to change things that are heading in the wrong direction, in your opinion. If you see something that really resonates with your energy as being wrong, you are that brave person who will stand up to it. You're someone who will be like, I'm putting my foot down. I am sticking up. I am going to say how I feel. I don't care how anyone else responds to this. I don't care what they have to say. I think it's wrong and I'm going to speak up. So there's a big part of you that is put on this earth with the purpose to kind of disrupt things, to kind of speak up, say how you feel, and to awaken a lot of people is what I'm hearing. Wake people up, enliven them, open their eyes, make them see the truth is what I'm hearing. So maybe some of you guys say uncomfortable truths at times. Maybe you say things that people don't want to hear, or you shine a light on things that people don't really want to talk about. That's one of the roles of Pluto, which you guys got. So there might be an energy here where you're wanting to talk, because I also think Pluto is the energy of wanting to talk about topics that like no one else wants to mention. People just want to leave it off limits. They don't want to talk about it. They want to pretend it's not happening. And Pluto is that person who will like rip the band-aid off and reveal it all, you know, open the curtain so everyone can see inside the house. That's totally Pluto's role. And I feel like that's what a lot of you guys are also being called to do in some way. Like, you're not about people keeping shady secrets or people hiding things or people being lied to. You guys are all about the truth in some way and about sticking to your personal values and really allowing people to see what's really going on is what I'm hearing. So wow, there's a lot of stuff coming through for pile 3 as your destiny, but what a powerful energy you guys have and a powerful purpose on this earth. So thank you guys so much for watching, and if it resonated, let me know in the comments. I'm very curious about this pile, so I'd really love to hear from you guys what this pile was. It's just very powerful. And make sure to give this reading a thumbs up, hit the like button guys, and make sure to subscribe and turn notifications on so you can find out as soon as I post. And if you guys like how I read, then you should definitely check out my Patreon. I just posted a reading all about what your dreams are trying to tell you. That's up on my Patreon now. So definitely check that out if you guys like my reading style, and you'll get access to over 25 other readings and new ones going up all the time. So join the party over on Patreon, and we have a lot of fun over there. And if you guys want a private one-on-one reading with me, you can also get that at the link in my description for briarrosetarot.com, and I'll pull tarot cards specifically for your situation about whatever topic you would like to know about. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'm sending you so much love and light. Have an amazing day, guys, and I will see you soon. Bye. Hey, pile 4, so if you guys got this pink donut, this is going to be your reading. So for your tarot, you guys got the Empress, 7 of Pentacles, 8 of Pentacles, King of Cups, 4 of Wands, the World, and the Queen of Cups. So there's a very strong, hardworking energy coming through in this reading. And I do feel like partially you guys are a role model in how you really work hard, and one of your destinies and one of your purposes is to show the world how to work hard and to let them see that payoff. Let them see how things can work out when you stick to something, when you work hard, when you push yourself a little bit. and get to see that kind of celebratory energy that we see here, where there's a lot of celebration and fun. You might also have a destiny purpose of showing people how to enjoy life, showing people how to loosen up a little and to open themselves up to the world, and that they don't have to take things so seriously and they don't have to take things so harshly. So showing people, maybe even getting in touch with their emotional side, maybe how to take a day off of work and stop and smell the roses and go see a movie, or like maybe even sneak into a movie theater. I'm not saying anyone should break the rules or any kind of law. Obviously, I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying like there's like a fun, joyful energy to you guys where you might, want to take a risk one day or kind of want to do something unexpected. And I feel like there's a part of you that is supposed to show people kind of how to open up and unleash that kind of young, childlike side of themselves, that youthful energy. That I think is very potent and is actually going to help you guys manifest things. And I also feel like you guys are a role model to people because you have this destiny of hard work, of showing people that when you have a goal, when you have a vision, and when you stick to it and you don't let anyone get in the way of that vision, then amazing things can happen and you can reach your goals. You can fulfill all the things you say you're going to do. Like, I feel like some of you guys in this pile, you might have told people things like, well, watch me do this, or I'm going to do that, or I'm going to succeed in this. And maybe you've had people who have doubted you or who have not believed that that was possible. They might have thought like, okay, sure, like everyone thinks that, or yeah, that sounds like it would be great, but there's no chance of that happening. And there's an energy to you that's like, I'm going to take you all by surprise. Just watch me. And I feel like people see you putting in that work, diligently going after something, and maybe even taking pleasure in the process. Like, I'm seeing someone garden or do some work that maybe other people would be like, okay, that looks really not pleasant for me. I wouldn't want to do that. But you're just really wrapped up in the moment and enjoying it. And you pour this kind of satisfaction, this happy energy into your work. And then it just kind of blows up and just like starts rolling down the hill, builds up this momentum. And so I feel like you're kind of showing people this way of how to create a life that they truly enjoy, where they're taking pleasure in the work. They're not like, oh God, I have to work and this is so annoying. But there's this energy of you really finding a destiny that you love, that is your calling, that is gives you such emotional fulfillment. Like, you're not just taking a job where you really hate it, but you maybe even if you don't like the job, you find a way to find pleasure out of it. You find a way to enjoy it, and showing people that hard work does pay off, and that enjoying what you do and pouring your heart into something does have a payoff, because there is this really celebratory energy at the end of this pile, and a very powerful energy too. So I feel like the people around you really respect you, really hold you up, and part of your destiny is to show this light to them of, this is how I made this happen. This is how I did this. And you can create this life for yourself too. You can find your destiny. You can find your purpose. And almost like people get inspired by how upbeat and positive you guys are, how you constantly are leaning into this work with a smile. You never let people like bring you down. You never let people, really take your joy out of it. And I feel like that truly inspires people. And I feel like part of your destiny is kind of to be this bright, burning light to so many, where they might see what you're doing and what you're up to. And they're like, wow, if they can put a smile on their face every day and they can come in and find what they love, then maybe I can do the same. And if they're feeling down, they just kind of can siphon off your energy and get this little boost, get this little energy jolt to themselves. So there's a very positive happiness around you guys, where people might be like, even some of you guys might really loosen people up. Maybe they sometimes might be a little buttoned up or like a little shy or a little scared. And there's something about your energy that helps them unleash that side of themselves and really just release their joy and really like see the positivity in the world, and like maybe they don't dance, but maybe you would pull them on the dance floor or something, and next thing they know they're just really carefree and not self-conscious at all and just enjoying the music. But there's something about you guys that you bring people out and let them like celebrate and let them come out of their comfort zone. So you really have this destiny to do that, to unleash people's side of themselves that's open to new experiences. And maybe before they've thought of themselves as a little closed off, they might have thought of themselves as being kind of scared or shy or nervous. And there's just something about you that makes them feel like taking a risk. Maybe because they see that you're very bold and unafraid, and that things seem to work out for you always. So then it makes them want to try something new. It makes them want to be open and like put themselves out of their comfort zone and realize that the world is this beautiful, open kind of place. So yeah, I feel like a lot of you guys have this destiny of also being very reassuring to others, very nurturing to others. We did have the Queen of Cups and the King of Cups. So there's something about you that's very sweet. You might be quite supportive of people around you. You might have people coming up to you and telling you random stuff that you're like, oh my gosh, like that's pretty private information, but thanks for telling me. But there is a destiny and a purpose to you to reassure those around you, to be very kind, nurturing, and understanding. And I feel like you don't even realize how much that matters to the people around you, how much they get that joy and that feeling of being understood from you. So let me get some more cards. So we got Fortune's Wheel, Stranger, Curiosity, Falling Angel, Spiritual Narcolepsy, Netcaster, Preparations Come to Fruition, and Horseman, Herald of Change. I didn't even see these cards, by the way, before I just saw them now reading it for you, because they came out upside down and I decided to not take a look before I did the reading. So yeah, I feel like with Netcaster, preparations come to fruition. A lot of people see, like I said, that patient vibe you have, that you put in the work on something in particular. Some of you guys might be working on something that there's a lot of like work you have to put in, and there's a lot of patience required, and it's not going to happen overnight. And it's something that you might be putting the work in diligently, going after it, but you might be wondering, when is it going to pay off? And I feel like a lot of people get inspired by that from you. Part of your destiny is to channel your love into that work. And like I said, it's not just that you're putting in the work, thinking of the end goal and being like, oh God, I hate this, but I have to do this to get to this point, so I guess I'll put up with it. It's like you really enjoy the work. There's something about the work that really serves your soul and stirs up your imagination and brings you joy. The work itself, not just like, okay, the end result is going to be really cool, but thinking about actually doing the work on a day-by-day basis. And I feel like people get really inspired by that. I feel like people see how you channel your energy into this project, whatever it is, and they get a inspiration to themselves to do the same work as you. So there very well might come a time for you where you guys are putting a lot of work in and you might not be seeing that payoff, or you might be, having to work on something day by day and hoping for a payoff. And I feel like there is that period of kind of not seeing the results you want. And I feel like you need to have that assurance that it is going to pay off. And part of your destiny is to prove to Spirit how much you want it, is to prove to Spirit, yes, I really do want this. And I'm willing to put this work in every day, and I'm willing to work hard. And I'm not just focused on like, I want these blessings to rain on me immediately. I'm okay with like taking the slower path. And because of that, because you guys are willing to kind of be a little bit patient, I feel like the blessings, when they do come, they come in tenfold, because part of it is kind of mastering this craft and like you being held back with the timing for a reason. Like maybe there's things you can perfect or change or might get better when you have more time to work on it or something. And I feel like you guys are so good at keeping yourselves in a really good place in the meantime. A lot of people who see you are very inspired by you. They might not know you, but they just see you and they're like, I want to learn more about this person. I'm very curious about them. I feel that there's a lot of joy and happiness that you guys just carry with your daily life, where people might see you just randomly you're walking through a drugstore or you're walking through a gas station, but the happiness, the high vibe you carry with you inspires a lot of people. And you might not even realize that because it's not something you consciously have to kind of work to conjure up. You're just naturally someone who carries a lot of positivity with them wherever they go. So a lot of people see this in you, and a lot of people are inspired to maybe do the same thing or to be really positive. You might just put them in a good mood and they don't even really understand why they're in a good mood. They might not be like, that random lady at the grocery store put me in a good mood, but almost you're like I said, a role model. Like the way they see you just smiling and kind of minding your own business and being very positive, I feel like it inspires them to try to bring that energy into their own life. So whereas usually they might be someone who, is really straight laced, or maybe even I'm seeing maybe some of you guys dance or sing in your car or something like that. Like you have these moments of silliness and goofiness, and maybe they would think that that was really cringe, or like if they did that, it would be really embarrassing. But the way you guys are very lighthearted, very childlike, very kind of open energetically, it makes them realize that like, maybe they can be that way too. And maybe they can like loosen up a little and lighten up, and they don't have to take things so seriously. So partially you guys have a destiny and have an effect on others of making them realize that life doesn't have to be so harsh. Life doesn't have to be just slogging through things. And I'm hearing whistle while you work. So it's kind of like, yes, you're having to work hard at certain things, but you never lose that positivity. You always stay cheerful. You always stay positive. And I do feel like that leads to a lot of blessings. And you guys are very nurturing to everyone around you. You guys truly look out for everyone kind of in your group and in your circle. Let me get some astro dice for pile 4. Spirit, can you give some astro dice for pile 4? So we got Neptune, the 5th house, and Capricorn. So with Neptune, that is Pisces, and this definitely is giving a little bit of Pisces energy, and I could see Leo as well. So we got Leo here, 5th house, the sun, and then we have Capricorn, Saturn, the 10th house. So with Neptune and Pisces, this definitely is giving me a little bit of Pisces vibes, because Pisces can be those kind of dreamy optimists that always see the silver lining in things, always see the good, even when there might not be much of it. That's why Venus is exalted in Pisces, is because Pisces will always see the best in their partner, even when maybe their partner doesn't deserve it. But yeah, I feel like you guys see the best in people. I feel like you see the best in situations. You're always willing to kind of take a positive look on things. You're always willing to give someone the benefit of the doubt, or try to see how a situation could benefit you. And I almost feel like some of you guys are going to have success through sheer force of will, through sheer force of the fact that you're always being positive. You're always looking for the goodness in someone. You're always looking for what could happen that would be a good thing, not a bad thing. You stay very optimistic, not pessimistic. And I feel like because you are kind of dreamy, maybe you inspire other people to dream as well. You guys might be my creative pile. You might be like writers, painters, artists, creators of some kind, because I feel like you have this very strong creativity running through you. And you might inspire also people to see the world in a different way because of that. And the 5th house can also talk about creativity and about the arts and about hobbies that we really love, which is kind of what I was talking about. Some of you guys might have a destiny tied into like monetizing a certain hobby you have. Like maybe you love to cook, and there's a way you could like open a small like food truck selling your, cooking, or maybe you could make like pasta sauce, in can it and sell it, of your signature recipe or something. But I feel like there's some kind of a hobby some of you guys do that you might be able to monetize it. And in that way, I think you have a destiny of serving as an inspiration to others and having others see you just pursuing your passion and realizing that if you can do that, because it's almost like you're building a life off of what truly brings you joy and happiness, instead of you making a life out of like, okay, I just have to do this because society says that and society needs me here, so I'm going to do that there and I hate it and I'm miserable. You're that person that's always going to probably try to do what brings you happiness. And if it doesn't bring you happiness, you might not do it. It's not to say you're undisciplined. And that might even be something that comes up for some of you guys, where maybe early in your earlier in your life, before you find this destiny, before you find this hobby, whatever it is that you do intend to monetize, maybe people are like, oh, you're lazy because you quit a bunch of jobs that aren't serving you. But it's almost like once you find that right thing, you love putting the work in. It brings you such joy to wake up in the morning and work on whatever this is. It brings you happiness and fulfillment in your heart, and you wouldn't want to be anywhere else because you're loving it. You're fulfilled, you're satisfied, and all these things. So I feel like you should know that if you are in an energy where people around you might not understand you at first and might think like, oh, this person's just, they're being lazy, they don't care. No, that's not the case. And I feel like at the right time, you're actually going to unleash a lot of this Capricorn energy that just loves to work hard for the sake of it and is willing to be patient and is willing to wait a situation out and really let it stand the test of time. And also the 10th house, which relates to Capricorn, is the house of public honor. So it's almost like people will see you get recognized at the end of this stage. People will see you guys have a lot of people be like, wow, this person did such a great job with this. And they're such an achiever and I'm just kind of in awe of them. So you will get that feedback that I feel like will mean a lot to you. And yeah, I think for you guys, once you reach this stage in your life where you're really aligned with what you're loving, even if it takes a while for you to figure it out, you guys in this pile will go through a stage when you're truly around it, you've truly found your calling. And then when that moment happens, I feel like you're going to be set up for such success in this. And like the sky is the limit, you know? Maybe some of you guys really could have huge success, like open a product line or something like that. But I feel like this kind of, even the periods you're going through where maybe things don't seem like working out, they're working out. This is preparing you for the right moment. So it's kind of like a message of like, take it easy, because I feel like this is like going to be a destiny moment for you where it just comes out of the blue, or you're just not really expecting it, or you're like, wait, this is so easy? Because maybe before you were trying to kind of fit a square peg into a round hole and trying to like make yourself work at a 9 to 5 and make yourself take things really seriously, or make yourself fit in at a job you hate. And then it's like, nothing really works and you're kind of used to that energy. So you're really surprised when you find what does work for you and it just takes off like a rocket so easy. You're like, huh, where did this come from? And how is this happening? And that might be your fortune's wheel moment, that kind of Sagittarius moment when suddenly Jupiter is on your side and bestowing you with all this crazy luck and all these blessings and just expanding you so rapidly. And you're like, okay, like I wasn't expecting that, but okay, I guess. But it may seem like it comes out of the blue to you because you might have been working at something else for a really long time and it just wasn't really clicking. But I also feel like there might be an energy where until you find that moment, until you find that true passion, people might even call you lazy, or they might even say like, oh, this person isn't working. This person isn't, they don't care. They're very unreliable. All they care about is having fun. But I do feel like once you step into the destiny moment, it's like, it just moves so quick and you're so fulfilled and you don't even realize like that life could be that good, or that life could be that easy, or that things don't have to be hard. They don't have to be difficult. They can just flow like a river, you know? So let me get some more cards. So we got, I also didn't see these, so some of them seem to be upside down. Good luck, dreams, forgiveness, finding, and career. I love that finding came out because that's so the energy. Like I feel like partially this is about you guys finding yourself. Just that process of you guys really getting aligned with your destiny and figuring out what dreams you have that you want to pursue. And you guys are kind of dreamy. And I do feel like part of your destiny is also to kind of carry messages down from the astral plane, which I do feel like a lot of artists do. And I am getting a kind of artistic vibe from this pile, where part of your destiny is to be very imaginative and to look at things in a very different way and to evoke other people's imagination and make them see things a little bit outside of the box. And so yeah, part of your destiny is finding your career. And I feel like when that happens, a lot of people are going to be kind of shocked and they might call it just like easy luck. They might say like, oh my God, how did this person have these blessings? And it might be a little bit of a lesson for them in that when you align yourself with what your mission is on this planet, with what spirit wants from you, with what spirit is calling you to, even if it doesn't make any sense in the natural, even if someone says, well, how could you make a living from that? That's what? That's, if spirit has put that in your heart, then that is for you, and that's what you're supposed to do. So yeah, I think so many people are gonna, when they see this happen, when they see it come down, they're going to be very surprised. It's almost like there might be an energy at first where you guys don't seem like you're doing that well financially, or don't seem like your career is going really great. So when you do have the blessings, they're really taken by surprise. And when you do start fulfilling your dreams, you know, you might have to forgive some people because they're like, they were doubting or they were hating, and they kind of have to stand back and watch. I'm feeling like from spirit kind of wants to use you guys as an example. And sometimes when we do have a lot of success ahead of us, spirit wants to make those people see, you know, like I always quote Psalm 23, he prepareth me a table in the presence of mine enemies. So, and I'm not saying these people are enemies. Maybe they could even just be like a concerned family member that's like, when are you getting a real job or something like that? But I feel like, there might be people who underestimate you, and you are supposed to serve as kind of this role model for them of how someone can really manifest this amazing life, and what happens when we're aligned with our deepest self and our deepest desires, our deepest wants, that calling we all come to planet Earth with, to live out something in particular, to serve the collective in one certain way. And I feel like for a lot of you guys, this might have to do with, like I said, something artistic, some kind of hobby. And we also got fifth house, which does talk about Leo, which can talk about, you know, being center stage a little bit, or having some kind of public platform. So that could be a thing for you guys as well. Is I feel like you serve the collective though with your energy, with your happiness and your positivity, and also this creative side you have. And maybe even, like I said, writing, or you might get vivid downloads in your dreams, is what I'm getting for some of you guys. So yeah, I think that's what I have for you guys, pile 4. I really hope it resonated. Let me know if it did in the comments. I love hearing from you guys. Make sure to give this reading a thumbs up, hit the like button, guys, and make sure to subscribe and turn notifications on so you can find out as soon as I post. And if you like this reading and want to see more of my readings, you should check out my Patreon. A link is in my description for that. And I just posted a reading all about what your dreams are trying to tell you. So definitely check that out. You will get access to over 25 of my additional readings over there. And new content goes up all the time. So like I said, definitely check it out. Link in my description if you want to join us over on Patreon. So, oh, and if you want a private one-on-one reading with me, you can also get that at the link in my description, briarrosetarot.com, to book a private tarot session with me where I'll pull cards specifically for your situation, your questions, and your energy. So with all of that being said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will be back very soon for another reading. I'm sending you guys so much love and light. Take care of yourselves, guys. Bye.